Hey everyone, Mark and Joey here from the ultimatesportschannel.com, and we want to reference our website. So if you're a first-time viewer, head over there. You can see a whole sports feed every single day. You don't have to look at anything else to get all your sports feed. And then, of course, you're going to get us on our podcast as well. And take a look at our sponsors and take a look at the channels where we're now showing, doing both video and audio podcasts. So great chance to see the show. Joey, this show is all about summer. It's coming to a little bit of an end, and the playoffs coming up. Another, probably 18 games, I think it was, 19 games. We're talking MLB, and we're talking the wild card race. The American League one's just about done, but the National League is wild. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, first let's start off with that American League because it is a little bit more simpler and, a little bit shorter. There's only 3 teams left, Tampa Bay, Oakland, and Cleveland. Our predictions a while back was that Cleveland would hang in there. Right now, they're out of it. We thought that division is really tight, still is.
Yeah.
But we thought both teams would make it from that division. It's not the case right now. Cleveland has been struggling, which is a little shocking to me. I feel like as paper goes, their roster is very, very talented. I think they'll pick it up here. But Oakland's in there. And really, for us, out of the 3 teams,
fan favorite for us.
I feel like Oakland is the team that matters to me. I mean, Tampa Bay down in Tampa, there's not a lot of loyal fans anyway, and truthfully, I don't know much about Tampa Bay. They have some good young stars. They're doing pretty good, obviously, but also they're in my division, and I hate everybody in the AL East because it's the Jays division. So I'd rather see Oakland.
Well, clarify that a little bit for you. If you're new to the show, we're from Toronto, Canada, so it isn't just we picked the Jays. They're our home team. So
yeah. So anyways, I'd rather see Cleveland get in there, knock out Tampa Bay, have Cleveland and Oakland that 1-game tiebreak. But for me and for hopefully most baseball fans, the underdog story always of the Oakland A's would be great. See them in there. I don't care who they play, but if they can get in there, that's awesome. Every year they have to rebuild this team and restructure and get back to the playoffs in a way more difficult way than obviously the Yankees and other teams out there. So, and the Dodgers, people were celebrating the Dodgers 7th division. Yeah. Well, when you spend like billions of dollars to buy your players, you better. So,
we like to see the challenge that Oakland goes through every year. Credit to them, whether you've seen Moneyball or you haven't, but credit to them that every year they have to actually make a team. They actually have to find kind of these nuggets of players. They just don't have the most money and go out and buy whoever they want.
Exactly. So anyways, in the AL wild card chase, it's those 3 teams, Cleveland, Tampa, and Oakland. Now, Cleveland could still win their division, which would obviously switch up the wild card as well, because, you could actually technically be out of the wild card and win your division. I don't think that will happen. I think if Cleveland came on to make a race for the division with Minnesota, then both teams would most likely make the playoffs because Minnesota is looking very, very good right now. So anyways, that's your little race there in the AL. A lot less teams. One team that we all want to get there. One team that's going to win the division out of Minnesota and Cleveland that's going to guarantee themselves a spot. Another one's going to be hanging on for
I'd like to see the loser of that battle for the division out. The reason I like Tampa Bay, the owner was thinking about Canada. And that wasn't bad to get a team back in Canada. It didn't work when he's talking about going to Montreal Expos. I thought it was just great conversation. So glad that the owner of Tampa Bay, it looks like Canada is possible options for that franchise one day. Who knows? So I like them. And, of course, we like Oakland. So there we are. Cleveland, you're out. You're already going to have what you think is a good football team. We got other thoughts on that in the football show. But I'd like to see Cleveland or Minnesota, whoever loses that race is out. Oakland, Tampa Bay makes it. That's our predictions for the American League. But let's get into the National League where it's really, 5-team race, I guess?
Yeah.
And we both have our teams there from the last show. If you want to check, go back to our last wild card show. I picked the Mets.
Well, they're not there yet.
But they're right there. And Milwaukee, you picked, right? So
both
of our teams are, and I'm not changing my team. I think they're going to be there.
Well, the Mets have some easy series. They get 4 games against the Marlins, so that's a huge advantage for them there. I got the Milwaukee Brewers who are looking really, really good. Even without Christian Yelich, they have a relatively weak schedule, so I feel like the Milwaukee Brewers will hang on and get there. Their pitching's getting a little bit better, but they're just putting up runs from all over the board. Now, I still wish he obviously didn't get hurt. It's a crusher, man. I mean, he is setting all new career highs this year, and he goes out again. He was already the NL MVP. It's so sad to see his season end on kind of a fluke accident. It was really just a swing. The ball hit his kneecap. His kneecap was done, and it's just too bad to see stuff like that happen. But Milwaukee right now is tied for that spot with the Chicago Cubs. The team that's ahead is Washington. They're 3.5 games ahead of the second wild card team. Now, Washington, I would actually love to see get in there because they got rid of Bryce Harper, and everyone was kind of confused about that. And sure enough, here they are in a better position than the Phillies. The Phillies are currently outside the playoffs, but they're also 2 games back with the New York Mets. And then the Arizona Diamondbacks, who traded their best pitcher to Houston and Zach Greinke, are still there 2.5 games out. So, a crazy wild card season coming up for the NL. Lots of games still to be played. 20...
right around 20.
Oh, yeah, 18, yeah. 18 games left for most of these teams. It's going to be a battle finish. It's going to be so much fun. Personally, we still like to see Milwaukee and the Mets get in there. That means Washington has to fall out, and they got a bit of a gap on the Mets, 5.5 games there. Now only 3.5 on Milwaukee,
I think
so we'll see.
One of our two teams is going to get there. The other one
I think
not.
Washington's holding on.
But I agree with Washington. But I do like the Mets. More games at home than away, which is always a good thing coming down the stretch. Not a really tough schedule, as you mentioned. The Marlins for 4 games is going to really help them. We've got a Toronto feel to that team. That's why I want them to get there. We made the big trade to send them our pitcher, and it's obviously working out for them. We want them to be there. I also like to see the Mets. Not that I personally care about New York and all that kind of stuff, but I hate to see a team constantly mentioned on every sports show that if something goes wrong, it's the Mets. It's the Mets. It's like a history of always calling them the Mets and being down. It's like Cleveland in football. It's just always them. So I'd love to see them get in there this year and do something with that wild card spot. That's what I'm cheering for them. Love to see our guy. He went there, wanted to stay with Toronto. They still traded him, but he's gone there and done a good job, and so are the Mets doing a good job and are a little bit of a win streak right now heading in. I'm loving the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, the Mets obviously have a great chance. Their hard series are at home, and their easy series are on the road. Usually a good formula for success. Milwaukee just has really easy schedule as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, they have a tough series out there, but really the team, and this is funny, the team that affects both those is Colorado. Colorado has a series with both these two teams, so that could really affect our teams personally. Like I said, I think Washington's in, so it's all these guys going for one spot. No one is safe here. I think if our teams don't make it, Chicago Cubs would be another good one. Obviously, they won the World Series way back. They have still the feel of still being the Cubs. Even with a win, it's funny. People still, the Cubs and how long they had to wait for that. They want another one sooner than later, so that way they don't feel like they're going to go on another long run of not winning a World Series. The Philadelphia Phillies, I'm sure the MLB would like that the most. Maybe along with the Mets. Probably the Mets number one if you look at the
Harper
MLB.
To be in the
but Harper being in the playoffs would be a huge deal, especially in a one-game tiebreak. You could write a script now that if he got up to bat and something crazy like that to win the tiebreak game, it would set the MLB playoffs off like crazy. The viewership I think would go up huge. So the MLB's got some interest. Obviously, they want the Mets, that star power in New York, obviously, and obviously the Dream World Series ever would be the Mets versus the Yankees, which I don't think would ever happen. Would be the most sane thing ever. They also want Harper, and then personally for me, it's just the Brewers. I think I just watched them last year and how they went through the playoffs and how they handled the team. Christian Yelich, I think one of the shy is not a good word, but the nicest, best players in the league. You don't see that much these days.
No ego.
Him and Mike Trout are probably similar in that boat that they're so great and no ego. I respect that totally. So Milwaukee for me, but Mets for you, and then many other great stories of what this wild card could produce. Which these one games have produced fantastic endings. Which even though I'm against it, I think it should be a 3-game series. They have been fantastic 1-game tiebreakers. At the end of 162 games.
And it's just a real record for TV watching and all those things that the league is all worried about and teams are worried about. So, anyway, they want that. Mets, Milwaukee, we think one's going to be there, not the other. We'll see who it is. We'll look forward to baseball coming up now. We're going to report weekly on Thursdays now on baseball because we're going to the weekend. Lots of changes happening in this wild card, particularly in the NL. And we'll follow it right to the end, and we'll look forward to talking about the playoffs.